Danielle, you're looking fantastic here. Nice job. Good craft. Tonality is beautiful. Good pencil work. Really, really good craft. Your letter forms are kerned quite nicely. A little bit tight. I'll get to that in just one second. But as far as the rendering goes, I think you're beautiful here. Really nice rendering. The counter, that's that. I'm sorry, the bowl, that's that area right there in the A, kind of teardrop shape. Really done well. Beautiful. This is called an open counter, and that's also depicted beautifully here. These are variable with strokes, as we can see. It's thinner here than it is here, and that's represented here quite well too. So I think the representation of the letters is quite gorgeous. Nice job. The cap B looks fantastic, and the N looks great too. I notice the N isn't quite horizontal here where it should, I'm sorry, vertical where it should be. So those lines could be straightened out a little bit. This looks like this is an illusion, but it looks like this is a lot thicker on this side. Now that N is going to be a little thicker on that side, but not much. You shouldn't be able to notice it at all. So other than that, I think the depiction of the letters is just gorgeous. So good job. Okay, the one thing I see as a problem is your letter forms seem to be getting bigger as we go through the word. And the reason for that is this baseline right here isn't on a perfect horizontal. It seems to start higher up here and then go down. So it's on a little bit of a diagonal, which is a problem because once you draw the mean line, the distance between the baseline and the mean line is increasing if the baseline is on a diagonal, if it's not level. So the letter forms at the end of the word are going to be larger than the letter forms at the beginning of the word. And we can certainly see that when we compare this A to this A. And again, if you were to take this A and lay it over this A, you would see that this one's a little bit bigger. And the reason is because that baseline is actually on a little bit of a diagonal. So moving forward, and when you set this assignment up, you probably noticed that you can't, and this is something that should be brought up, okay? To begin, draw a baseline, a mean line, and a cap line. All right, what's wrong with that comment? I'm pausing because I want you to think about it and I want you to answer this in your head. What's wrong with that comment? What's wrong with saying, okay, draw your baseline, your mean line, and your cap line first? You can't draw a mean line and a cap line first. You can draw a baseline, sure, but you can't draw a mean line and a cap line before you place the letter forms on because the mean line and a cap line are dependent on the specific typeface. Mean line is not a consistent. Every typeface has a different height. The mean line is based on the X height, which is the height of the lowercase letters from base to top. So that is going to be variable, okay? So if you notice that as being a confusing statement, you are exactly right, it is. So what I want you to do when you move into your final submission for Banana for Fire and Ice, and don't forget, we have another Fire and Ice next week, so apply these principles and move forward. We see, first thing I want you to do is draw your baseline. Make sure that baseline is straight, okay? So perfectly straight baseline. If you have a T-square, that'd be great. Get a perfectly straight baseline, then lay your B on that baseline. All right, you'll establish your cap height, which you can go ahead and draw that out. Make sure that these are perfectly parallel lines. No fluctuations here. The distance here should be identical to the distance here. All right, at that point, you can lay your first lowercase a. When you lay that, just trace it out, make a mark at the top and where it sits at the baseline, then make sure you draw your mean line. And that mean line has got to be perfectly parallel with the baseline and the cap height. And the reason for that is because it'll maintain consistency in the size of your letters, as we can see here, right? So be sure to do that. I'm sorry that's a little bit confusing in the instructions, but after you read through the course materials, I love it when students get with me and say, hey, wait a second, how do we draw a mean line first? It doesn't work like that. And you're exactly right. It doesn't work like that. So in moving forward into the final iteration, make sure you draw your baseline, then place your B, draw your cap line, all right? Then get your measurements for your lowercase letters. Make sure that mean line is perfectly parallel with the baseline and the cap line. Then you can start placing your letter forms. Okay, as far as the kerning itself goes, I said a little bit earlier that this is a little bit tightly kerned. Just a touch, not much. I think a little bit tight through here. I think that A is a little bit too close to that B in relationship to the other distances in this specific example of kerning. Now, general rule of thumb would be this, in kerning. Your curved letter forms, and this is specifically for sans serif, by the way, but your curved letter forms, if you have two curved letter forms together, that's going to be your closest kerning, okay? The next closest kerning is going to be between letter forms with a straight edge and a curve, okay? And then the widest kerning is going to be between letter forms that have two straight sides, okay? So in banana, the closest kerning is going to be between the cat B and the A. The next is going to be between the N and the A, and then the third, the widest kerning, is going to be between the A and the N. Notice I only said that once because you're just repeating that over here. There's only three areas that are going to be current: the B and the A and the N and the A. The rest is repetition: A and N and an A, right? So again, in summary, it's the tightest, and I'll use vocabulary, specific vocabulary. The tightest kerning is going to be between the B and the A. The next tightest kerning is going to be between the N and the A, and the loosest kerning is going to be between the A and the N. All right. I know, mouthful, right? All right. So that said, I mean, I think that you've got enough here to turn this in a beautiful rendition of the second. Watch your parallels, your parallels. Watch your verticals and horizontals, especially these horizontals right here. We can see that N right there is probably not a vertical. So watch your horizontals, watch your verticals. And craft is great. Your letter forms look great. Just let it go, man. Let it flow. I think you'll love it. You'll have a blast with it. You'll really see how kerning. Don't get rid of this either. Save this rendition. I want you to compare your old with your new, and you'll see how that works. Okay, so real quick, why do we kern letters? We kern letters so the eye has the ability to see letters, to see words as just that, words. If letters are kerned and spaced correctly, we see words as words, not groups of letters. Conversely, we see sentences as sentences, not groups of words. Okay, it all has to do with the efficiency of reading. Okay? All right, Danielle, great job. If you have any questions, let me know. Those are my recommendations moving towards final. So let me know if you have any questions at all. And if not, I'm looking forward to seeing your final rendition. Good job. Thank you very much.